Look, I took the crown like I Robin Steele. Now I'm the Fresh Prince like I'm Robin Will. But y'all just doubt fire like y'all Robin Will. Trying to steal my drive like y'all Robin Wills. Got niggas that act like Batman sidekick. What I won't do, Robin Will. Niggas ain't fucking with the moon child. Now y'all not for real, you gotta chill. Flow so freezing cold.
Welcome back to the Moonchild Podcast. I am your host, Elijah KB, and today we're going to talk about how society killed our independent thought. So when I talk about independent thought, all I'm talking about is our ability to simply think for ourselves. To simply think for ourselves. Right? So where did they start killing our independent thought? Well, it's multiple programs that they have within society that we were all a part of for the most part, right? That affected our ability to think for ourselves. And when I say affected, it's really just we were never encouraged to exercise independent thought. We've always had a machine or program thinking for us. So a lot of us find it hard to think outside the box to this day, or think for ourselves to this day, because we always had somebody to tell us what to think. Some of the programs that we're going to get into is, number one, we're going to get into education. Number two, religion. Right? And number three, parents. So, with education, I know for me personally, I remember when I was a kid and I went to, elementary in Houston, HISD, right? And we wore uniforms. All the kids wore the same shit, right? There's only a few colors that you could wear because it was like the school colors. And yeah, even as a kid, like, I used to hate that shit. Like, I absolutely hated not being able to be an individual, even as a kid. Like, it was weird. So that was already suggestive programming. Like, that's already programming. You know what I mean? That right there. Having all the kids be uniform, looking exactly the same. You don't get to express, what color you really wanted to wear today. You don't get to express, what kind of clothes you really wanted to wear today. No, you have to wear something within the confines of the box that we created for you. Say what you want, I'm sure they got some sort of story and quote unquote reason behind why they get kids to just wear the same shit that's going to the same school. I'm sure it's, they're going to put some sort of safety in it and whatever. But on some real shit, this is programming. You know what I mean? This is already programming. Visually, you're looking around you and you're no different from anybody else. So you have to, mentally be in that space. Education has not shit to do with your intelligence. Remembering a bunch of shit and your ability to regurgitate it. There's education. There you go. Granted, the things that they have you memorizing are the things that will help you play the game and beat the game outside of, school into the corporate world and things like that. But they're all connected. It's all one big thing that they're doing together. This is not anything separate. Even if it appears separate, it's the same shit. It's the same stream of consciousness. It's the same shit. This is why they're preparing you to play their game. You understand? I remember a few instances where I was in math class and I was a kid, super young, And I remember having to show my work. You know where they get you to solve the problem, but you have to show how you did it. But the way you did it has to be how they told you to do it. One of the two ways of how they showed you to do it. Well, I remember I kept getting the answers right, but my methods were wrong. Ain't that some shit? My way wasn't the way. You know what I mean? They didn't tell you to think like that. What the fuck are you doing? Think like this. Do this. Make it like that. Otherwise, you got it wrong. You got it right. You know what I'm saying? You're intelligent enough to get it right because you use your own mind. And this is a no-no in school. This is a no-no in a lot of religions. You understand? So, that's where it usually starts. You know, it usually starts in one of those three programs. Even with, like I said, parents a lot of the times are rooted in the very same things that they're training you for. You know what I'm saying? You're being trained for the same society, so they implement the same programs inside of your upbringing. You know. This shit is fucked up. I ain't gonna lie. You know, like I said, when it comes to school, education has not shit to do with your intelligence because your intelligence comes from inside of you. This is why you have people who are so book smart, but have absolutely no street smarts, no regular day-to-day quote-unquote common sense. Their mind was never exercised in that way. It was always about, okay, all I have to do is memorize a bunch of shit and regurgitate it. Memorize a bunch of shit and regurgitate it. Memorize a bunch of shit and regurgitate it. If I don't know something, I'm going to go to some other source and memorize that and regurgitate it. Memorize that and regurgitate it. So there's no room. They left you no room. If you're playing by their game, like you're playing their game, you're playing by their rules, they left you absolutely no room to think for your fucking self. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, education has nothing to do with your intelligence. It never did. You can be the most intelligent person in the world and do horrible in school. Did you know that? School ain't got shit to do with intelligence, bro. It's all about just memorizing and regurgitating. Memorizing, regurgitating. Memorizing, regurgitating. It has nothing to do with how you think. You know what I mean? So that's something that you definitely should put into practice is thinking for yourself. Why is this important to understand? Well, it's simply important to understand because how are you supposed to find your purpose and your reason for living? And the things that make you happy if you don't know who the fuck you are, you don't know how you think for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't know your opinions on anything because everything has been given to you. Even the options in what you choose. They give you the illusion of independent thought by giving you several options, which always comes down to what, like 3 or 4 options. And because you can choose out of those and believe in those with the group of people that believe in those with you, you think, you know, or this is thinking. I'm thinking for myself. I chose this because this is what. But it's like, have you ever just thought past that, past what they gave you? Did you ever question the system at all? Like, what the fuck is this? How did I get here? What am I doing? Like, what the fuck is this anyway? So with religion, right? Religion is another one of those programs that are put into place for mental imprisonment. Doesn't seem like that. Of course, it has certain spiritual benefits in every religion, right? But the idea of creating a religion is already a box. And a lot of people don't want to go against their religion, and they will trade in their common sense and independent thinking for what they told you. This is more training. They gave you a book to abide by. They gave you fear to scare you into loving their God. All type of shit, man. A lot of things are put into place that are not questioned ever. Like, people are scared to even question it because, like, in Christianity, it's a sin to even question it. They even thought of that. You know what I'm saying? So, because of this shit, it's like, you know, you can't really express yourself and grow as an individual ever because you're always clipped at the wings by these programs. It's a very unhealthy thing for your individuality, right? I encourage you to start asking more questions. Start questioning more when it comes to the programs that you're a part of, the things that you do on a day-to-day basis. This needs to be in question a lot more. Think about who you are. Think about what you're doing here. Think about what your purpose is here. Think about what you really want to do. A lot of us have taken on what our parents would like us to do. And we're living our lives like that inside the confines of our parents. We're not thinking for ourselves. We're being a part of, I mean, and it's not just parents all the time. Sometimes it's friends, you know what I'm saying? It's family members in general. You know, we have family members that have expectations of us due to what they would like us to do, due to them living vicariously through us instead of, you know, them spending their life how they would like to spend it, right? They have gotten older and now they're looking at you. You know what I'm saying? And now they put the whole weight of the world, their world, on your shoulders, plus the shit that you already got to deal with. So think about who you are. What do you really want to do here? Like, are you really in alignment with the shit that you supposed to be here doing? Or are you living for somebody else? AKA wasting your life. You know? Think about it. Are you on the right track at all? Does it feel right? Is you going to college, does that feel right to you? Am I shitting on education altogether? No. It's a tool, of course. You got to play the game to beat the game, right? If you want to play the game. So, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying think aside from that. Don't mistake education for intelligence. Don't mistake your parents' thinking for your thinking. Don't mistake religion for the absolute truth. You understand? So that's all I got for y'all today, man. This has been the Moonchild Podcast with your guy, the Moonchild himself, Elijah KB. And I'm out of here. Thank you. For those interested in spiritual advice, I now have a page where you can sign up for a one-on-one hour session with myself. The link will be in the description. And for any questions and topics for the podcast, feel free to email them to me.